This is the best beef jerky in the world. If you are watching this show and you have the hookup on where we can put Western Survivor beef jerky, this company is an arm wrestling beef jerky company. As this product does good, so does arm wrestling. Does everyone understand that?
All right. I love beef jerky. Send me my package. I need to taste it so I can talk about it like Travis.
I got some elbow pain. Hold on. Oh, hold on.
Jamie, Nat Fit, since 2017, he's got big plans for the sport of arm wrestling. 2021, we're glad to have him on board. He's got over 20 different products that range from, kids to old people. So check it out. Jamie Shella, Nat Fit. Bam.
Jamie did not want to be the second sponsor and for you to give him that introduction. What he paid for was for the Beast to say, welcome aboard, Jamie. We love you. The community loves you.
We do. Not just because you have ARMTV tattoo. He's a genuine good dude.
They don't make him any better than that dude. You better think about all the scenarios, and I can start killing you right now with questions. So,
ask me the questions. I want to expose it.
How long, let's just talk about it right now. 15 guys are in the class 0 to 165.
Yeah.
You got 15 guys. 3 of them weigh exactly the same. Do you go by age or flipping coin or birth dates? How do you take care of the guy who, because what's to say the guy doesn't just take a step back and take his jacket off, or does he only get to weigh in one time?
One time. You weigh in one time at the door.
So if you weigh 166 the first time, you can't pull into 165s, or you can only make weight one time?
With my format, I want to eliminate the cutting.
I'm just saying, the fact is you're going to set a number though, right? Or are you going to wait till everyone weighs in and split them in 2?
No. Well,
if you set the number, you are going to have people that come in and they're 1 pound over. They have to go lose it and come back. So start thinking about that whole scenario. Because here's what I'm doing. Right? If I'm really want to get technical, right? I'm coming in a heavy 201, right? Knowing that I've got a lot of opportunities in the next 12 hours, right? So I weigh in on Friday night.
No. That's what I'm saying. There's no Friday night weigh-ins.
All right. So I weigh in what? Saturday morning?
So you weigh in Saturday morning. There's no, I weigh in, then I go eat.
Okay. So what if I weigh 201 with my boots on, right? And I weigh in and I weigh 201. Can I then take a step back, take my boots off to make the 200-pound class?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So then what else I could do is weigh 201, take a step back and wait and see if I should take one boot off and arm wrestle this guy, or if I should take every single thing off and leave my underwear on so that I can arm wrestle the guy 3 levels down. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people at 199 point something.
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
And if that bracket matters. Okay, so you got to work that out. All the rules and regulations. Now,
this is the thing. Can I say something?
Yes.
This is the thing. When I'm producing a show, that right there, I'm filming that. I'm filming this guy, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, if I only have one boot on, I match up with Joe first, and I want Joe. It's like, okay, that's right. Television potential.
But there also has to be the rule as to the clock, who has to weigh in. What if we both standing there, we both got boots on, and I'm waiting for you to go first to see if I want to take mine off or not? Because if I could just get you to arm wrestle that guy first, I got a chance to win this fucking thing. Okay.
There'll be the hour weigh-ins.
You'll have those rules.
There'll be the hour weigh-ins, and if you're not weighed in, then you're playing games.
Second rule. I know that the guy I'm arm wrestling in the first round I can't beat him. Is it okay for me to let him win to quickly get him to 17 and out of the game?
So this is my one caveat that I've been thinking about. As a producer, I don't like deal makings. I hate it. I hate it. And I'm going to slow this down. Hate it. I don't like it to the ROTN where I'm, as a producer, I need content. And I've literally worked out how much I'm paying per arm wrestling match because I know I need that content. That when I have guys in the finals working deals to where they don't arm wrestle, if I suspect, if really big money's on the line and I suspect cheating, then you forfeit prize money.
Is that what that would be called? Would that be called cheating? Is if I know that if I don't waste my energy here, I can win the second round. I just can't win the first round.
Potentially strategy like that might be acceptable. If you're willing to take a loss to go back, that might be just strategy like chess. But
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I'm talking about deal making. Means you collude with Bob to work something out.
I got you.
I don't like that. If you take a loss to go to the end of the line, that might be part of the show. I could come to you. Right. Why did you do that? You know, that would be television, let's say content, like an interesting,
a little drama.
I'm not opposed to that, but colluding, you and Bob get together and I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that. Who's this product?
Liquid Biocell. Go check it out. We're going to send you the link. You have all that stuff in your inbox. Make sure you pop that up. Every time you see that, these people paying the shit out of this. If you knew what this check right here looked like, Gary, you'd cancel the show. If you knew how much money I was getting from these guys.
I'm not in love with that product.
Oh, Gary, cut that out. Oh my God. Cut that out. Oh my God. Cut that. What he meant to say is this is his favorite skin product in the world right here. Check it out. Liquid Biocell. Check it out. Hey, cut that shit out, man. I ain't playing, bro. I'm going to start talking shit about NatFit. Say one more thing.
Well, fine. I'll cut this out. Just between you and I, like I'm not.
No. There ain't no between you and I. What's between you and I is that we love every product, Liquid Biocell. That's us. And we love Western Survivor, whatever that, beef jerky, okay? We love James Neal Diversified Services. All right. Did you cut the show? Cancel the show yet? All right.
How many sponsors are we going to have on this show? I mean, is there no limit? We have a 30-minute show, but we have 10 minutes. At some point.
It's supposed to be obnoxious to get on your nerves.
Okay.
Is it working? Is it working? Yes, it is.
Has Western Survivor actually sent you money? This is
Greenidge. Greenidge.
This is a partnership. This is a partnership.
Did you fix everything? Tell him there's no app.
You said
he has to call me or there's going to be an app.
You said you spoke to him. You said you texted him.
All I got was shit happens. That's all I got. And I wrote back, yay, we're back. No response. You better fix that shit. You fucked it all up.
I feel like you did a good job. I mean,
call him immediately. Call him right now during the show. See if he answers.
I can't. My phone is right here.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, so you went to Portland. Hold on.
I did.
Hold on. I sent you a link. Someone wants to ask about this Dave Chapin match.
Yeah, it was a retarded question that you asked me. So please, you don't want me to disrespect that guy, do you?
Well, he asked the question. I didn't.
Say it's a retarded question.
Why?
You can answer the question. Did you watch the video?
I watched the video. I can't tell if he elbow fouled. Did you see an elbow foul? They said he was.
No, that was a great match. I should have won. That was a very disappointing situation for me. I was ready to win that in the assholes, and I would have won any best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. But once again, Neil Pickup, being the jackass ranker that he is, he puts me, Jerry, and Dave in one side of the bracket, and he puts Chris Chandler, Matt Gerdner, and Nick Zena on the other side, and knowing that only one from each side can get there. A complete asshole move, a complete utter, knowing just so they wouldn't have the same final of me and Dave or Jerry and Dave like we've had in the past. So they give Nick his big break. I have that single match with Dave that drops me in the loser's bracket. 1 minute later, I got to pull Jerry, who's fresh as a daisy. I end up losing that match, and now I'm 4th in the whole bracket, while Chris Chandler and Matt Gerdner are over here, couldn't, fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Nick Zena's just blowing through them. And even after I pulled that match with Dave, Dave was able to beat Nick in the finals. So very frustrating for me, because I should have arm wrestled Dave in the finals, and that should have been the best 3 out of 5. And I think he would have been in trouble, because I think he was done, and I had his hand and wrist, and I just was not aggressive enough, because I was surprised I got there so awesomely. So once again, that was a bad situation for me. There were probably fouls in places. Him talking about Dave's shoulder being under the table is ridiculous. Dave's shoulder was underneath the table because he was trying to win. Well, your shoulder's allowed to be underneath the table when you're in the winning position. So when he went to the losing position, or at least the neutral position, he was only there a brief time before he stood up. So, that's why it's a goofy.
So the point stands that this was not a dumb question, because I just got a 5-minute interesting answer from you.
Well, yeah, but if you ask me why didn't Dave get called a foul for having
no. That's the question, is why you didn't protest a little bit more.
There was nothing to protest. That's why. What did you see? Tell me what you saw. What did you see?
Well, since you are filming for television, protesting can be dramatic. I guess
the question
was
protesting. No one has ever protested there. There was not a
protest. No. Protesting like verbally, just causing a scene.
Because I was more upset
you took the loss.
But I should have won. It wasn't because of a foul that I lost. It was because I wasn't quite ready for that single match, but I was ready for a war where I was going to be in a beautiful situation. And I know that Dave has worse endurance than me. So, that's why, I don't think I think he won, but I don't think he'd have won again. And after that, he hasn't won again. Right. That was the beginning of me then coming back next year, handling my business. Then 3 months later, going to Erie and having another super match with him. And that was the last time that we've arm wrestled right-handed. So there was a lot there. That was a great match for TV, I think. Did you enjoy watching that?
Yeah. So you bring up a point. You hammered Neil Pickup. Did they seed the brackets?
Yeah, they brought Neil. Here's the thing. Every time I always bring Neil in, because there comes a time where I can't be the commentator anymore because I'm the star. Right. So when we first started with the WAL, it was, I'm the guy, it because of the game of arms. I also know that none of you guys know how to run a tournament. Right. So I can be better utilized at the very beginning as the tournament director. And as the tournament director, I can cut down the budget by running the live event super efficiently. Right. The live commentary. So we pimp that out for about the first year. Then it becomes painfully obvious. Hey, Travis, we need you on the other side of the camera. You got to blow this shit up. No problem. Well, once I go over there, we need a commentator. So once again, I'm always I'm like, Neil, what's up? Come over here. They'll give you your $2,500, your plane ride, whatever you need. Get over here. Well, then once you get over here, he, of course, starts throwing that bullshit Arm Wars format, acting like it's the Jesus Christ savior of arm wrestling. And it's terrible. It promotes one-on-one arm wrestling, which is the demise of our sport, right? It's horrid. I mean, it allows such long periods of time where you can pick and choose your opponent. It never puts you in the fire. So then, Neil, because he's a good commentator, he ends up selling the format.
We'll come back to it. I have to play. I agree with you, but I have to play.
Well, you don't have to agree with me.
No. I'm just saying I do, but I have to play the devil's advocate because the comment people are, well, that's what UFC does. That's what boxing does. It's always the one-on-one. And
well, yeah, but it's not what. Hey,
but hold on,
it's not what golf does.
They say that's how you take a sport to the next level, and so of course that's what you do with arm wrestling. That's what they say.
You can't take poker to the next level with one-on-one. You can't take golf to the next level with one-on-one. You can't take tennis to the next level with one-on-one. Arm wrestling is in that lane. Arm wrestling is not a sport where I can say I'm the champ, put a belt around me, and never have to defend it. Ever. Like, my Lord. It can't be a worse idea.
Okay. To your point, because this is how it came to my thing. In the one-on-one, each arm wrestling match means so much. Whereas like what I was thinking with my match, what if it connects more like what you're saying? What if an arm wrestling match is more like a stroke in golf? It's not less necessarily.
Or it's the front nine, the back nine.
Yeah.
It's the sand traps, right? Like there's going to be, and listen, I'm not saying yours is great too. I'm just telling you that we always, when we get all those guys together, we need to concentrate on participation and finding one guy that we can crown rather than have, I mean, how many people walked away from Mississippi with a winning something?
Well, you bring up a perfect example. So like, did matches end on fouls in Mississippi? I thought Dave Morocco said.
Yeah, but Dave Morocco's match is going to end in fouls if he is upstairs in heaven and his best friend and mom are reffing. He's fouling out. There's no way around it. So as much as I love that dude, he's maybe my closest arm wrestling friend in the world. He is absolutely a fouling machine. So he has no validity to talk about the foul and the refereeing and stuff. It wouldn't matter. He's the worst.
Okay, but using your golf as an example, yes, there is golf events that are decided by an error at the end. But I mean, maybe you watch golf more than me, but ultimately most are not. I like the fact by making each match, like with a super match or with a 2 and out, one match, if you make an error, it can have significant consequences in your results in the one-on-one format. And I don't like that. I like with the multiple matches, many matches, you reduce the error potential and you have a true champion is what I'm sort of.
Yeah. And I don't like when there's a true champion. I like when there's a bunch of crazy obstacles that allow someone to win.
Yeah.
Right. No, like, cause I hate it. Cause I tell you, if it's just who the strongest guy is, that's kind of boring. But I love when we set it up so that you really have to close your hand and you really can't do stuff because we need there to be some avenues and traps to liven this shit up. Now,
look for good for
thing
TV.
About what you're doing is there's a lot of matches that are going to happen, and people arm wrestle guys they think they can beat differently than when they don't think they can. When you're arm wrestling in a double elimination tournament or one-on-one, you're giving everything you got to end the match. until the later rounds, maybe.
Yeah.
If we are pulling in this round robin or this elimination thing, as the rounds go through, you're going to have people who think they can win. So it's going to make for some really awesome matches where they don't mind going in the spot, because this is the third time that this is taking place.
Okay. So one thing that when I was hosting the ROTN, I was presented with this problem. And Leonard Denise, they do the random. I mean, I picked them because they did most of the tournaments back then. And so they had a big tournament. They made the bracket completely random.
Which is the second best way to ever do it.
It is. So
yeah. The first best way to do it.
Wait, hold on. It seemed obvious to me, like if you have 4 amazing guys, you wouldn't want the 4 amazing guys in the top of the bracket.
Well, I mean, listen,
you'd split them up.
From a tournament director's standpoint, the smartest thing that you can do is take yourself out of the bracket and judgment. Okay. It's the best thing to do. Tournament arm wrestling has its pre-weigh-in rules. Leonard and Denise are smart for making it random as a part because, you know, everything that Leonard and Denise did is just the opposite of what the AAA did, right? So the AAA was a random ranking system that was corrupted, at least through perception, from one Karen Bean. There are rumors that she will help her buddies out in the bracket. Whether that's true or not.
Back in the day, or like today?
Her whole life. If you think about her, she is a bracket hoarder. It doesn't matter what rule you tell her, she will end up in that bracket room. I don't give a fuck if it was in the White House. The bitch would be right there at 8 a.m. and got invited there somehow by the president of the United States. And now she is in charge of this bracket. So because she has that power.
For the record, I don't agree with that statement. The bitch. That's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice.
When I say the bitch, I just mean the woman, the chick, right? I love her. Today it's her birthday. So happy birthday, Karen. But we've had our ups and downs a lot. I'm just telling you that the perception is that she would stack that bracket for her people, right? Now, whether it's true or it doesn't matter. So what Karen and Frank decided to do was to use that against her. So instead of doing
Leonard and Denise
decided to use that against the AAA. If the AAA had random or brackets that were stacked, Leonard and Denise did it randomly. If Karen took a bracket down to the final 4 before she moved to class, Leonard and Denise decided to go 1 per every class, right? It was like the exact opposite. If you had your Friday night and Saturday night, we did ours Saturday and Sunday. If you did your masters first, we did our masters. That's a fact. It's a fact. They did
the opposite.
Just the AAA was it. They took all the negativity from the AAA, which you would hear people say, "Hey, why do I got arm wrestle so fast?" Right? But I think it was great to take them down to the final 4 and keep them all there, right? But there's a difference in philosophy. There's a difference in philosophy there, right? Now, another thing about the AAA.
You pause, bring up something.
Yes.
I do notice that. So Karen, I'd go there, they'd run 1 class all the way down. And then I noticed Leonard Denise would jump all over the place.
They have 1 per weight class. So it's terrible. You'd be the one.
It's terrible for filming because I could never, when I was editing.
It's terrible for all of us, right? We need to get fired up for about 25 minutes, then take a break and come back to the finals. That's, I shouldn't say that's the way you have to do it. However, it's the way that I enjoyed it to be done, right? And I know that Leonard and Denise did not have to change everything, but that was their platform.
Okay,
Hold on. Infiltrate and destroy.
You told me You told me you were not going to answer this dumb question, and then opened up this whole fascinating.
You asked me another question a couple of weeks ago about why didn't they call a foul on Dave for having his shoulder under the table?
No,
that's the dumb question. I thought
the question was, he thought there was an elbow foul, so he was wondering why you didn't think there was an elbow foul and complain about it to get a restart.
Yeah, what I read was about the shoulder being under the table, so that's why I said dumb question.
He said shoulder and elbow. There was two things.
Yeah.
But anyways, I had no idea this whole bracketing thing. So the reason Leonard Denise randomized it was to try to answer the question
because
of
the AAA is running
stack it.
Yeah, exactly. To just give you every single thing, right? If you use the buckle strap, they use the Velcro strap. Just a complete opposite. 100%. Wow. Yeah. This is crazy. And it was probably a good business model because the AAA was on top, and the only thing that you could do was attract their haters. So it was not a bad business move.
So you're saying I, as a promoter, if I'm trying to seed the bracket, it could be perceived that I would try to protect.
It's just straight favoritism in your
my homies.
Not even protect your homies, just disrespect me because you think Craig and Dan need to be in the finals. I say this thing's going to be a lot better after Craig and Dan arm wrestle first round. Let's mix this thing up and see what's up.
But you started this whole conversation that Neil Pickup was a dummy by putting Chris Chandler and Matt Gurner on the opposite bracket.
Exactly, because we had a seeded event, right? He seeded it through the regionals. So he took this regional information, and because Matt Gurner wins the West, but he wants to not understand that Jerry Caderet and Dave Chafee are in the East. You know, they've already arm wrestled each other. So the second place for Jerry is not a true second place, right? So, and it's just, he put his opinion in there when he had these three winners. He had 3 first places, 3 second places, 3 third places. He had all that information and he intertwined them. You just know for a fact, me, Dave, or Jerry, that is the top 3. Everybody knows it. So I don't care what Nick did in the regional. Put one of us over there with him. So he has to prove himself. You can't just give it to him.
But you said just a few minutes ago that seeding is bad, but you're saying you would have seeded it just differently?
No, of course. Yeah. Seeding is bad if you have an asshole that you don't agree with. It's terrible.
But he was seeding based on tournament results.
He was based on the regionals, but listen, it doesn't matter. You have to recognize that if you have a first, second, and third place from a weak region, and you have the first, second, and third place from a strong region, you can't put the first in the first, the second in the second, and third in the third. There's only 2 brackets. So
that's what the NFL does. That NFL
no, the NFL goes from 8 to. The NFL goes from 8 to 4 to 2. They have a format for all the shit.
But if you have a weak division, sometimes the matchups are shit.
Right. And that's why Nick was over there by himself. But you can't, if you break 3 into 2, there is some judgment calls, right? If you broke 4 into 2, there wouldn't have to be judgment calls. You could just say this region, that region, but that is not what happened. And it was painfully obvious, right? Like,
what are you doing?
But it was because he was alerted that the same finals was not going to happen this year. And that's how he did it.
So to close this up, you don't agree that if you were to have so using the 32 divided to bring this all the way home from a few weeks ago, it should be randomized seating.
I think it should be by weight. I think if you do it by weight, you can let the arm wrestlers be involved, but not the promoter be involved. If you do it randomly, you don't let anybody be involved. I like to let the arm wrestlers decide where they are. So if it's decided, you can either go in there as the 187 version of yourself, or you can come in at the 197 version of yourself. That 10-pound fluctuation is up to you. It depends on where you think you're going to set in that bracket, but it just eliminates everything from the promoter.
So you just tried to use the boot thing, you don't think you're going to have somebody playing boot games where you take one boot off? I mean, do you really think that's going to be an issue?
The only way it wouldn't be an issue, but you have weight classes. In my situation, you can only weigh in once because your weight doesn't matter. There's not a cutoff. So they wouldn't be able to do that with my format. They can only weigh in one time.
But if you know that Bob next to you is a half pound off from you, and it could change the thing if you have one boot on or one boot off.
So you can't, you're not allowed to use, you can use your own scale and over there and kind of feel it out, but you cannot use our scale. And you get to weigh in one time, and you have to weigh in by 2 o'clock. If you want to wait till 159 and you don't do your own little research over here and play your games, that's fine. But you're not going to use my scale to do it. And when you step on that scale, you better hope mine ain't 2 pounds different than yours.
So why wouldn't you educate me about that right there? Because I obviously didn't know that. And you told me what when you asked me a half hour ago what I would do on weigh-ins.
Well, because
you didn't tell me this little
but people
trick.
can't. Well, no, you can't use my trick because you're allowing people to weigh in, not make weight, and get to go do it again. So they're going to get
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're telling me don't do that. You're telling me you're going to make weight once.
Well, I know, but but I asked you, if a guy weighs 201 and he wants to pull into 200, are you going to let him weigh in again? You said
but
yes.
you're saying that I shouldn't do that.
Well, I don't know what you should do because I didn't introduce weight classes. So
I don't want games. I don't want you to come back to my scale.
That's why
5
if I
times.
was you, I would not make weight classes. I would let everyone weigh in, and I would divide that thing in half.
But if I have what if I have 4 or 5 weight classes?
You divide it 4 or 5 times. It doesn't matter. Just put them all in the thing. It's all in 4s, right? You can make every bracket 1, 2 in the 4s, in the 8s, in the 16s, in the 32s.
So you're saying I could do my concept and it completely is random depending on the pool of bodies. I have 50 guys
100%.
You all
50 guys. Yeah, you have 12 and a half in each bracket. So 13 in the low bracket, 13 in the highest bracket. The 2 middle brackets got 12 in them. You just got to set it.
So you're saying,
if I did that, bracket, right?
If you did that, I could 100% avoid the thing. Okay, here's what I don't like. I was looking at the one thing I never liked about, let's say in nationals, 54, 65, 76, 87, 98. It's like you have 15 guys in one class, 9 guys in one class, and then 12 guys in one class, but then 6 guys in another class. You're saying by doing what you just said, I could just take everyone. Okay. Could I just do this? I have 50 entries.
So you can have the exact same number in every class.
Yeah. So then I line it up from lightest to heaviest.
Let's say pull a 50. All you do is pull a 50-man single elimination bracket.
But there's no bracket.
Well, but you want a bracket so that you can make the bracket and then find out who shifts to this Final Four. That's one bracket in itself. Then the second Final Four sheet go. I mean, do you understand the way a bracket works?
In my class, it's lightest to heaviest to lightest.
Okay, so listen, if you take a 50-man bracket in the top line.
No.
Listen,
I don't want to deal with brackets.
Man,
you got a problem listening, bro.
We hope you like the content. Thanks for stopping by. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Now click that little bell icon so you get notified. This was Gary Roberts and Travis Bagent live.
Damn it! Do something else. Don't ever say them 2 names to me